Cryptocurrencies are an emerging technology that seeks to replace our current financial system, aka money that is backed by a nation-state. In the modern financial system of credit cards and online shopping, transactions involving money need the approval of a bank or a credit card to prove that the exchange has taken place. Cryptocurrencies get around this by getting other crypto users to do complicated maths called mining to confirm that the transaction went through. This also keeps your shopping habit data out of the hands of banks and marketing firms. Since the advent of the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, this new technology has been seen as a scam by some and the future of all financial transactions by others. Released in 2009, the value of Bitcoin peaked at $19,783.06 on December 17, 2017, before crashing back to Earth and bottoming out at around $4,000. It has since bounced back, and in August of 2019 it hovered around $10,000. Many people have made a lot of money, but in this list we're going to look at many others who have lost huge fortunes when dealing with cryptocurrencies. Number 10. Wired threw away a fortune. As the world's premium technology magazine, Wired is sent many new products to test and review. One of these products was a Bitcoin miner. By confirming these transactions, the mining machine has the potential to earn Bitcoins. This is a machine that is able to create Bitcoins. While the machine was plugged in at the Wired HQ, it earns 13 Bitcoins, which would have been worth about $260,000 at the coin's peak value. Wired discussed selling the Bitcoins or donating them to charity, but the powers that be thought that it would be unethical to harvest the Bitcoins. Michael Kalor, a senior editor at Wired, said that if they kept the machine running, the magazine might be seen as promoting crypto. To keep their journalistic integrity and independence, they destroyed the keys needed to use the coins, essentially burning them. The coins still exist, but without the keys, there is no way to cash them out. Number 9. Bitcoin miners endanger nuclear plant to mine cryptocurrency. The faster a crypto miner solves crypto math, the bigger the chance they will be rewarded with more crypto. To maintain their profits, a crypto miner needs faster and more powerful computers. For a while, a lot of crypto mining was taking place on university campuses around the world. These students were taking advantage of free dorm power and high-speed internet that was provided by their campus to mine crypto. One student at Imperial College of London mined 30,000 Dogecoin by hacking the university computers to mine while everyone else was asleep. As the CPU power to solve the equations increased, miners moved to using university supercomputers. The National Science Foundation was forced to ban one researcher for using their expensive machine to run supercomputers to generate Bitcoin. Students using campus IT resources like this cost universities a fortune, and new students are threatened with expulsion if they're caught. All of this mining requires custom software that frequently has malware buried in its code. These have the potential to open up the door to outside parties, allowing the hacking of university supercomputers and their university's high-speed internet connections. At St. Francis Xavier University in Canada, cryptocoin mining was the cause of an attempted cyber attack that shut down its network for 4 days. Worryingly, it's not just young students taking advantage of high-speed government computers. Risking another Chernobyl nuclear disaster, workers at South Ukraine nuclear power plant cooked up a scheme to mine on the job. They hooked up their mining rigs to the plant's internal network and sat back and watched the supercomputer rake in the crypto. What they didn't realize or care was that their mining rigs opened up a backdoor to the internet, allowing anyone to hack their nuclear plant and do whatever they wanted. Number 8. Man threw away 7,500 Bitcoins. Instead of physically holding money or a coin, crypto users use a private key, a long text string, sometimes more than 50 characters long. It's not something you can easily memorize. People either write them down or save them on their computers. Cryptocurrency is famous for being decentralized, and as such, there is no help desk, no customer service, and most importantly, no backup or some sort of god mode to retrieve the lost crypto. To do anything with cryptocurrency, you need to have the key for the coin. Years ago, Syl Turner did some Bitcoin mining, and for his efforts, he made about 2 Bitcoins. He forgot all about them, and during some computer maintenance, he reformatted his drives and erased the keys for the 2 coins, making them forever out of reach. Another man, James Howells, was a crypto miner in the early days of Bitcoin. He eventually gathered 7,500 Bitcoins and stored them on a hard drive. In 2013, he accidentally threw that hard drive away with all of the keys for his Bitcoins. The precious keys, along with all of his other trash, ended up at the local dump. In 2017, at the peak of Bitcoin value, his buried Bitcoin treasure would have been worth about $150 million. Now, this plot point might sound familiar as it was used in the hit TV show Silicon Valley. On that show, billionaire investor Russ Hanneman has his minions combing the city's dump looking for a thumb drive with $300 million worth of Bitcoin on it. Number 7. Bitcoin mix-up. One of the curious features of Bitcoin, or a flaw depending on your view, is that Bitcoin transactions are public. You can't see the identity of who is transferring the coins, but you can see the actual transactions that take place. A number of companies specialize in tracking crypto moving through the internet. One of these companies, Chainalysis, identified wallets that are linked to criminal activity. Their blockchain analysis was key to identifying 2 rogue FBI agents that had been stealing bitcoins from criminals. Another issue with Bitcoin is that it can take a while for transfers to go through and be approved by the miners. To speed up the confirmation process, users can offer a bonus fee. One unlucky user accidentally mixed up the amount he wanted to transfer and the bonus fee. In April 2016, 1 Bitcoin was worth about $580. On April 26, 2016, someone wanted to transfer 291.241 Bitcoins, which at the time was worth about $168,000. To get the transaction done quickly, the user offered a fee of about 0.0001 Bitcoin, about 6 cents. However, they flipped the amounts and mistakenly transferred that 6 cents for a bonus fee of $168,000. Number 6. $200 million for a pizza. Without the ability to quickly and easily transfer cryptocurrency, the crypto concept is dead in the water. Mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency is the hope of everyone who holds some sort of crypto coin. Some of the biggest cheerleaders of crypto are its celebrity backers. The Winklevoss twins, Cameron and Tyler of Facebook fame, have been lobbying behind the scenes to get crypto pushed into the mainstream and have even developed an exchange system called Gemini. Also pushing crypto is Ashton Kutcher, who famously donated $4 million to charity through a crypto coin. These weren't the first time that crypto got a lot of publicity. There have been several publicity stunts throughout its history. On May 22, 2010, to encourage adoption and cash in on some internet fame, a man ordered a pizza for 10,000 Bitcoin. This was probably the first real-world transaction involving cryptocurrency. At the time, Bitcoin's value was extremely low, but at its peak, that pizza would have been worth about $200 million. Number 5. Mt. Gox. It is possible to keep your crypto in an electronic wallet. This can be in the form of a physical thumb drive that you can keep in your pocket. Other wallets might take the form of a file or program on your computer. However, for ease of use, some people just prefer to keep their crypto in exchanges, which act like banks or investing companies. One of the first of these was Mt. Gox. Launched in July of 2010, 3 years later, it was handling over 70% of all Bitcoin transactions worldwide. In 2014, the company closed its doors when it was revealed that most of the coins it was storing were missing. Years of investigations found that almost right away nefarious actors were stealing bitcoins, totaling about 600,000 bitcoins, which at Bitcoin's peak value would have been close to $12 billion. Complicating the settlement of account holders is the extreme rise in the value of Bitcoin. Mt. Gox shut down in 2014, and a small number of its Bitcoin holdings were recovered. However, since then, the value of Bitcoin has absolutely soared. That small amount of Bitcoin recovered is now worth much more than the 2014 value of the stolen coins. Mt. Gox account holders were on the way to getting their fortunes back, but now some of them are suing for a bigger piece of the pie. One of the key individuals in the recovery, Andy Pag, says, "The more Bitcoin's price goes up, the more vultures are circling around. My personal worry is that we're just going to be bogged down in litigation. If the lawsuits ever end, some people might actually get their money back." Number 4. The environment. People around the world are just now starting to understand that giant fortunes mean nothing if the world as we know it is crushed under the full weight of global warming. In that sense, one of the biggest losers of the crypto movement has been the environment. Modern society's energy consumption and the never-ending need for more power is one of the main drivers of global warming around the world. The most efficient way to be a successful miner is with endless racks of computers powered by the cheapest electricity available. The bigger the number of computers, the higher the power consumption. Mining has been such big business that it consumes more energy than the entire nation of Switzerland, pushing up the demand for energy and contributing heavily to global warming. While some argue that this can be offset by using renewable energy, others argue that the push should be to convert all of the world's fossil fuel generation into renewable energy, then focus on creating power for crypto. Number 3. Town lost big. Early adopters of new technology are sometimes big winners, but more often than not they're big losers. Some of these early adopters are communities who are looking for novel ways to invest their town's money. One of these small towns was located in the Lone Star State. Rockdale, Texas is the site of a giant coal deposit. In the 1950s, this caused the town to boom when Alcoa built an aluminium smelter that used the cheap energy produced by mining and burning coal. Globalization caused the plant and then the mine to close when it couldn't compete against dirt-cheap aluminium produced in the Third World. Bitmain, a Chinese crypto mining company, was seen as the town's savior when it announced that it would build a giant computer array in the town. This would take the form of huge warehouses full of computers that would use the cheap electricity of the nearby coal-powered plant. These computers would do nothing but mine bitcoins. The town invested a fortune in hopes of luring the company to set up shop, but it all went nowhere when Bitcoin's price fell, making the project unviable. When his fortunes were on the rise, Bitmain was going to release an IPO and sell stock. Since then, they've abandoned that plan and are in survival mode. Number 2. In Death Do Us Part. On April 16, 2018, Matthew Mellon of the Mellon banking fortune died of a drug-related heart attack in Mexico. To his grave, he also took the location of the crypto keys to a huge amount of Ripple coin, XRP, another popular type of cryptocurrency. Before his death, he held an estimated $1 billion in Ripple. Without the keys, none of the XRP coin can be used. In another story, Quadria CX is a Canadian cryptocurrency exchange founded by Gerald Cotton. On December 9, 2018, Cotton died under mysterious circumstances of Crohn's disease while opening an orphanage in India. As the founder of the company, he held all the passwords to access all of the coins that the company held. About 250 million Canadian dollars, that's about 190 million US dollars, owed to its 115,000 customers, are still missing. Number 1. Stolen treasure. Criminals and state-sponsored hackers have stepped up their game and are stepping out of the shadows to take advantage of an internet filled with lax security devices. Since their inception, cryptocurrencies have been difficult and almost totally dependent on being stored and used on electronic devices. Such devices are often left unsecure by oblivious users and are easy prey for hackers and scam artists. In the first half of 2018, $1.1 billion was stolen through various scams and unauthorized access of various devices. With the internet allowing criminals to operate across borders with little to no police presence, these sorts of attacks are probably only going to get worse. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, hit that thumbs up button below and don't forget to subscribe. Also, why not check out my other channel? It's called Biographics, biographies of notable people from the present day as well as history. Please check that out. It's linked to below. And thank you for watching.